I've been a fan of Pixar since 1995. I think was when Toy Story first came out. I fell in love with Toy Story, and I fell in love with Pixar right away. And I've seen every Pixar movie from Toy Story to Brave, and I've liked and enjoyed pretty much all of the Pixar movies. Even though I liked others, or some more than others, to say the least. I even liked Cars 2. I know a lot of people love to hate Cars 2, and I don't think it is as bad as a lot of people make it out to be. Yeah, it's Pixar's weakest movie and probably their worst, in my opinion, the worst, but it's still not that bad. Compared to a lot of crap that's being put out for kids, it wasn't that bad. It's not as insulting to your kids as movies such as Smurfs or Alvin and the Chipmunks or Epic. Um, I still think that that movie's more harmless than those movies were, um, and it's been kind of unfortunate in the fact that Pixar has kind of been in a rut ever since Cars 2. Uh, they also, had Brave that came out last year. That even though it won Best Animated Feature last year, it was it got a lot of hate for winning Best Animated Feature, and I thought that was kind of crap because it was actually a good movie. Um, and I think people at this point are kind of wanting to find a reason to hate Pixar, and Pixar kind of gave them a reason with Cars 2, and so now the hate is more and more coming out as more of their movies keep coming out, and it's unfortunate, especially after um, the three great movies that they had back to back to back from 2008 to 2010 with Wally, Up, and Toy Story 3, which were some of the best animated movies of the last 10 years. And it's unfortunate, and there are Pixar's best movies, some of Pixar's best movies. My favorite Pixar movie, just to let people know, is Toy Story. I keep saying Toy Story. Um, Even though Toy Story is great, is Finding Nemo. I love Finding Nemo. Still can watch it and still laugh my butt off. It's and It still make me feel like a little kid and just laugh my butt. I still laugh my butt off. I know people. It's one of the most, probably the most loved Pixar movie out of all of them, I think. Um, Anyways, when I heard they're making a sequel or a prequel to Monsters Inc., which I thought cool, I was like, I'm fine with that. I was kind of wary why they were making a prequel instead of a sequel, and this was the first prequel that they had ever done, and I like I loved Monsters Inc., and I thought, I'm fine with that. You know, Monsters Inc. was a really good movie. I liked Billy Crystal and John Goodman as the main characters. I loved the character Boo. That little girl stole that freaking movie. And I even though I was hesitant on why the hell they were making a prequel to it, and I'm not, especially because I'm not a fan of prequels, I was still wanting to see it just because it was Pixar, and everybody was coming back and everything else. And coming out, honestly, I like this. I really like this movie just as much as I liked all the other ones. I thought this wasn't Pixar's best movie, but it was pretty damn good, and it's up there. It's one of the best animated films of the year, in my opinion, um, along with The Croods as one of the best animated movies of the year. Um, I thought the cast, the characters were great. That's one of the things I love about Pixar is that no matter what kind of characters they have, they can make you care about them. Even if it's talking cars or talking toys or a talking or a little robot like Wally or a rat who wants to become a chef. They make you care about these characters, even if they're most absurd kind of stories. And these characters are just as good, in my opinion. John Goodman and Billy Crystal are as good as ever as they were with James P. Sullivan, and Mike Wazowski. Um, I like that they brought it back. People like Steve Buscemi as Randall, the villain from the first one. He's Mike Wazowski's roommate at first, um, and he basically we find out through pretty much the only character arc that he gets is that we find out why he doesn't like James B. Sullivan or Mike Wazowski, and why he holds a grudge all those years when Monsters Inc. first starts. I liked, again, like I said, there's even cameos from other people like John Ratzenberg, who's obviously got to make a cameo. John Ratzenberg, if you don't know, he's the guy from Cheers. He's not Norm, is he? He's not Norm. He's Cliff. Yeah, he's Cliff from Cheers, and he keeps he. It's a rule that he voices some kind of character every Pixar movie, and he has ever since Pixar first started, and it's kind of funny. And he's back as the Abominable Snowman. Abominable Snowman makes a cameo at the end. And even the lady, that New England lady with the voice, that I can't do the voice, but that sluggish kind of character that in the first movie, the lady with the glasses, the slug with the glasses that had that annoying voice, it makes a cameo at the end. It was kind of funny. I kind of got a kick out of that. I also love the new characters in this movie. I really like the misfit fraternity in this movie. I really like Charlie Day as I thought Charlie Day as Art, the little like monster with like the two long legs and or whatever. You've seen him in the trailer, and even from the trailer, I could tell this character was probably going to be the best part of the movie, and honestly, he was. Even though he wasn't just the sole reason why this movie was funny, I thought he had some of the funnier parts of it. I am not a guy who likes. I never got into It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which even though I've been meaning to try to start watching that show since I got Netflix now, instant streaming. I keep liking everything I see Charlie Day in, and he's great in this as Art. I also liked all the other fraternity members. You have like Sean Hayes and Dave Foley as the two-headed monsters, two-headed monster, and they're like one's a dance major and one wants to be a dance major and one wants to be, I don't know what the hell the other one wants to be. I forget what the other one. I can't remember. I like the fact that the one fraternity member only uses his mom's house as the fraternity house. Basically, he basically has his mom drive him around, him and his fraternity brothers around to places. And they actually use at one point the mom and her van as a getaway car, which is kind of funny. I liked the middle-aged. There's a middle-aged monster that's in the fraternity who was a salesman, but decided he wanted to try to go back to school after I think losing his job or something like that. Try to go back to school. I just liked the misfit fraternity. I thought they were really funny. I thought they were really good characters. I thought they were really funny, and they all stood on their own. Even though they're like kind of like the Revenge of the Nerds, basically. This is what this movie is. It is basically Revenge of the Nerds meets Animal House, but with a G rating, and made for kids. that's one of the things also I loved about this movie was that even though that it does follow a lot of that same formula, it does some things different, especially the way it ends and some of the story progressions in this movie are a lot different than what you see in like typical college movies like Animal House or uh, Revenge of the Nerds. Good example being that Helen Mirren plays the headmaster, the dean of the school, and you would she plays the stereotypical dean of a college movie where she doesn't like the two main characters and she really starts targeting them. At one point, this is not really spoiling it. They actually get Mike and James P. Sullivan get kicked out of the scare program because of an accident they cause, and they end up trying to go back in the scare program by doing these things called the scare games, which are basically the Olympics event but with scarers, and they all involve the fraternities of the university, and obviously they're the outcasts, so they end up going to the loser fraternity, and they basically strike a deal with the dean that if they win, they get back in the scare program, but if they lose, they have to leave the university. And the dean, I thought they were going with the dean that just, I thought they were going to have the stereotypical dean that just ends up like trying to sabotage everything that they do and everything like that. But they don't. But she actually doesn't. She actually comes off as at the end of as being actually liking them a little bit and everything like that. I kind of like that. It didn't go the stereotypical dean route that they usually do in a lot of college movies. Although they kind of do at first, but then they don't. They don't just veer from. They kind of veer away from what you usually see in college movies. I like I said, I didn't expect that they would get like kicked out of the scare program at first. You didn't get that gist at all from the trailers, and it was kind of unpredictable where this was kind of going at first, and the ending is kind of unpredictable. And I've heard a couple people say they didn't like the message at the end, and how it ended. I kind of did. I thought it was a little different. The ending is a little different. Than what I actually kind of expected from the movie. Obviously, it does have the problem of like most prequels and the fact that all suspense is kind of not there in a prequel, and there's not much suspense in this movie because by the end of this movie they're going to become scarers and work for Monsters University or Monsters Inc. One way or another they're going to end up going to Monsters Inc. And obviously at the end of the movie they become scarers at Monsters Inc. But they kind of go a different route than you expect at the end of the movie. How they get to that point at the end of the movie is a little bit different than what I expected, and I kind of like that. It kind of is a little unpredictable, and the message is a little bit different than you would expect by the end of the movie. It is. I know some people are not going to like it. I heard a couple of complaints about the message at the end of it. I thought it was fine. I thought it was good. It was a little bit different than what we usually get in kids' movies. And it was kind of a little bit of a breath of fresh air. Again, I would only say I know everybody always knows I have some kind of complaint. I can't really think of one other than the fact, like I said, it has the same problems that a lot of prequels have, and the fact that it's kind of pointless that this movie exists. It is really pointless that this movie exists, and that it also, like I said, is really hard to have any suspense in it, because in the end that everything's going to be okay, and that they're going to be scares, and that's it. You know it's going to eventually get to that because you've already seen the first movie. Unless you've never seen the first movie, then for some reason, if you've never seen the first movie, then I guess, yeah, you would not know that. But yeah, I think that's one of the problems. Is that it is pointless, and that we really didn't need this story. And that's the problem with most prequels, is that you really don't need a prequel to almost any movie out there. All prequels are pretty much unnecessary, more unnecessary than sequels, in my opinion. Um, and I kind of still do wish that they would have just done a sequel instead of a prequel. But in the end, I still really liked this movie. I thought it was really good. I thought it was very funny. Like I said, Pixar has great characters that you expect from Pixar. It has the animation's amazing in this movie. The 3D is good. I didn't say this about Man of Steel, by the way, before I forget. And is that Man of Steel, don't go see that in 3D. For the love of God, don't watch that in 3D. I'm about had it with 3D at this point. I might be going to see World War Z next week, and that's mainly because of it's getting certified fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes, and that's in 3D. And I think that was post converted, and I'm at this point sick. I am kind of at this point where I don't want to see another live action 3D movie. I will only go see 3D. I'm thinking at this point I'm not only gonna go see a 3D movie that's animated, and that's it. I think I'm done. I am literally pretty sure I'm done with 3D live action movies from this point forward. I might just go see World War Z in regular 2D. Although there was a couple shots in the World War Z trailer that actually looked good, but the 3D in this movie looks good. It makes the animation look even prettier and even more, the animation even more pop out than usual, a lot more than usual. And like I said, like, it makes you even appreciate a lot of the animation even more from Pixar. Pixar, you can tell they put a lot of work into these movies. It's amazing, like just a blade of grass to work on. Like, blades of grass you see in one scene it'll work on very easily. One other thing I forgot to mention was that, as a little complaint, is that there are kind of random scenes that just kind of pop in and out of the movie that are just kind of filler. Like, one of my favorite parts of and this was kind of disappointing, in the fact that one of my favorite parts in the trailer was the part where the little slug, if you've seen the trailer, the little slug, he's like, oh crap, I'm late I can't be late for my first day of school. And so he's like, and he's like going at a slug's pace, so he's going very, very slow, and it's really funny. And that scene just like happens, and then it cuts to something else, and you're like, well, what was the point of that? And I was like, I wanted a resolution to that character, that slug, to see if he actually ever got to class, because you don't ever see that character ever again, and I kind of wanted to see more of that character. I wanted to see if that slug, finally got to class. Unfortunately, after I got home, I went on Wikipedia and I was reading something, and it said at the end of the credits, you do get a resolution to that slug character, and I missed it. I was mad. I was like, God damn it. They did that with Brave. They had a end credit scene at the end of Brave, and I didn't know that, and I missed it. Apparently I gotta start staying at the end of the credits for Pixar movies. I guess they're becoming Marvel movies. They're going the same route as Marvel movies nowadays, I guess. Yeah, like I said, 3D's great. The animation's great. Usually, always with these movies, there's always a short that goes along with it, and we got a short, because that's like, it's a tradition that they always have put a short film that Pixar produces in front of their movies, and it's this one is called, the one we got with Monsters University was called The Blue Umbrella. I liked it. It was really good. I thought the 3D was great. I thought the animation was great. It was just basically about a blue umbrella, and like, on a rainy day and he sees a red umbrella, a female, I guess a female red umbrella, and they kind of get lost, and then they finally find each other at the end of the story. It sounds as stupid as that sounds. It actually is. It actually is kind of cute. I liked it. I thought it was pretty funny. I thought it was cute, and it's one of those I really like. These shorts, they usually it follows the same formula as a lot of their shorts do, in the fact that there's no dialogue whatsoever, and it's all music and sound effects, and that's all that there is in here, and it is really effective, and it looks really good, and it shows that you don't always need noise and sound to make a great story. Sometimes, like a great animated movie. Look at the character Scrat and Ice Age, or the Minions in Despicable Me. They're great characters, and I wish they had a feature length movie. I think the Minions are actually getting a feature length movie, and they barely speak. Well, Scrat doesn't even speak, and the Minions don't even speak English, but they're great characters, and they're memorable, more memorable than some of their speakable characters, the speakable characters in their movies. Um, I like that. I think we need more of that. Wally was a good example of not using any dialogue for the first 40 minutes. The first 40 minutes of Wally was really good, and I know some people say the last 40 minutes kind of ruined it because they had humans on it, but I liked that last 40 minutes even about as much as I liked the first 40 minutes, but I love the first 40 minutes because that was ballsy in making a no dialogue movie with just a robot all by himself. That was interesting. I love Wally. Um, and with, like I said, no dialogue or just sound effects and music, and that was it. Um, oh, and also the trailers I got. I got. I want to talk about the trailers a little bit. I'm gonna try to keep this short. I got some good ones and I got some really bad ones. I got a lot of new ones. I got pretty much a majority of new trailers that I hadn't got before. Some of the movies look good. A lot of the movies look good, and there's a lot that look bad. Two that really stuck out that looked really bad are Smurfs 2 and the Lego movie. Smurfs 2 looks terrible. I never watched the first one, and didn't intend to watch the first one, and I won't watch the second one. It looks just as bad as the first one did. And Neil Patrick Harris, what the hell are you doing? And hell, Hank Azaria, what the hell are you doing? I don't know. Yeah, I heard Hank Azaria is actually great as Gargamel, but yeah, I don't care. I don't give a flying rat's ass. Oh, in the Lego movie, I saw this trailer a couple of days ago, and I hate this movie. Looks terrible. There was not a joke in this trailer that worked for me. It didn't. It looked bad. I mean, I like the idea that they're making a Lego movie with Lego characters. That's cool. But this doesn't. From the trailer, this doesn't look like it's gonna be at all funny. Maybe they left. They didn't. They saved the best parts from the trailer, or they didn't put the best parts in the trailer, which I think you would try to do to get people to go see it. It does. The sad part is that this does come from the guys that made Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs and 21 Jump Street, and those are really funny movies. This doesn't look funny at all. I heard some people say it looked good, and I'm like, no, it doesn't. It looks terrible. I don't. I have no really interest. Maybe the trailers are misleading. Maybe this is one of the times where the trailers make it look as make it look worse than it is. And I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. That comes out next year. I got a trailer for this movie. I've been hearing about it briefly. It's called Frozen. I don't know what the plot is of it, but I liked the trailer, this teaser trailer. It didn't really reveal the plot. It was like about like a little snowman who he's like, the trailer is like the snowman. This little snowman basically sniffs a flower and he has he because he sniffs the flower, he ends up having to sneeze, and when he sneezes, he blows his nose off, which is a carrot, and it goes on to a sheet of ice, and a moose sees it, and the moose wants the carrot, and obviously the snowman wants his nose back, and so they're chasing each other for this carrot, and it's a cute little. It was a cute little teaser trailer. I thought it was pretty funny. I know people were gonna make fun of me for using the word cute. Sue me. Shut up. But it was a cute trailer, and I thought it was funny. I actually chuckled, and it didn't use much dialogue either, and it looked pretty funny. I don't know who's in it. I couldn't recognize the voice of the snowman. He did say a couple words, but I can't recognize his voice. Also got one called Free Birds, which actually looked kind of funny. It's Owen Wilson and Woody Harrelson about turkey. Listen to this: turkeys that a turkey that gets pardoned by the president and is living in a house gets kidnapped by Woody Harrelson. The turkey that gets pardoned by the president. This sounds so stupid just saying this, but it actually looks funny. I'm sorry, but the turkey that gets pardoned by the president is played by Owen Wilson, and he gets kidnapped by another turkey played by Woody Harrelson, who wants to go back in time to the first Thanksgiving so they can stop turkeys from being used as Thanksgiving meals. Okay, and some of the parts of the trailer look good. I was like, it's got Woody Harrelson playing a turkey. Okay, dude, okie dokie then. I don't know, maybe it'll be good. It didn't look that bad. There was a couple parts I did chuckle at, like the guards. Apparently the guards are going to be like a running joke for the movie. It's hard to explain what the guards do, but there's guards that but anyways, if you've seen the trailer, you'll know what I mean. Freebird, yeah, that looked pretty funny. I think that's all I can think of trailers wise. I got Despicable Me too, but it's the same goddamn trailer, and it's coming out in a couple weeks. I was wishing I would get another trailer because this really doesn't reveal much of the plot, but I guess whatever. I think the only problem is that Al Pacino was supposed to voice the villain in Despicable Me 2, and he dropped out back in May, even though he already recorded the audio, his voice for the character, and that kind of left him in a kind of a kind of a crappy situation. Now they had to find a voice actor very quickly. I don't know how that's going to work. I think Benjamin Bratt's been recasted as the villain. We'll see how that works. I'm looking forward to Despicable Me too. I love that trailer. I do love the trailer, but I wish we got something different. And also, I was kind of disappointed I didn't get a trailer for Pixar's next movie. Usually, they have a trailer for their next movie that comes out next year, and we didn't get one. I know their next one is called as an original Pixar movie. It's not a sequel. It's called The Good Dinosaur, which I think it's been described as like a alternate universe where the dinosaurs are living among us, and they didn't get killed by an asteroid, and they're living among us. So that could be kind of interesting. But yeah, I'm gonna get off here. Go see Monsters University next week. I will be back with either White House Down, The Heat, or World War Z. I'm gonna probably go see World War Z just to get it out of the way. I'm not really looking forward to it. I'm not looking forward to any of those three, but I'll try to go see one of them. I'll be back next week with one of those three. I don't know which one. If you want to see me see one of those, let me know, and maybe I'll go see it. Or you want me to see something different, I'll go see it. I'll be back next week with something, and I'll see you guys later.